On April 18th, 1906, the gentle people of San Francisco were awoken from their sleep by some fearful tremors. What were these fearful tremors, you might ask? Well, I'm going to tell you. The tremors were not caused by a fearful plague of rats who decided to eat the city. Nor were they caused by a ghost. Ghosts can't do that. Not even that one. Nor a dragon. Nor did it start from one citizen wanting to prove to Billy Joel that we did start the fire. So how did this beautiful, bustling town go from the height of prosperity to this in just a few short hours? Look at that. Look at all those poor people screaming in anguish. A tragedy, truly. Well, I'll tell you, it was an earthquake! Now, the next question is, how do earthquakes happen? Earthquakes happen because tectonic plates which lie under the Earth's surface and on top of its core move all the time. And sometimes they're a bit more extreme than others. Please note that tectonic plates are not square as I have drawn. I was just too lazy to, draw them how they actually look like. Anyways, moving on, I am here with an actual demonstration using the tools at hand, which just happened to be the Red Badge of Courage by Stephen Crane and Tim O'Brien, the things they carried. Tim O'Brien would represent the North American tectonic plate, which it so happens San Francisco is on. It's somewhere right around here-ish. Right around here. This will be the Pacific plate. Now, there are many different types of boundaries between plates that do a whole bunch of other stuff, which I don't feel like going into. Anyways, what basically happened is they went wah, or maybe even wah. Anyways, the thing is that they moved, and they moved a lot, which usually isn't a problem. Usually they move up to 2 inches a year. However, the problem in 1906, which was what caused a whole bunch of earthquake, a whole bunch of loss of buildings, and a whole bunch of fires, was actually that it didn't decide just move its regular 2 inches, but instead, 15 feet, which, caused a problem. A really, really big one. However, the initial earthquake did not start the fires. It was only after one of the aftershocks that the Inferno set in. Earthquakes are measured on a 10-point scale known as the Richter scale. However, in 1906, they didn't have the Richter scale, and they also didn't have a way to measure earthquakes, because it was 1906 and they still drove horses. That is a horse. I know it's crudely drawn, but just deal with it. Anyways, however, scientists today have done their scientisty thing, and they've come to discover that if it had been measured, it probably would have been around 8.25. Let me remind you again that this is a 10-point scale, so it's only natural that the earthquake would be pretty devastating. However, the original earthquake did not start the fire, which you can see me accurately draw that man and some buildings on fire. One of the aftershocks set off around 50 fires in 50 different locations all around San Francisco, which pretty much burned the city to the ground. However, they rebuilt it and people live there today, as you probably know. Anyways, just to let you, grasp how devastating this earthquake was, I'm gonna lay some numbers down on you. Get ready. Over 3,000 dead. 225,000 were left homeless, and over 28,000 buildings were destroyed. And that's pretty bad, but, over $40 million were lost that day. That's the real tragedy here. No, I'm just kidding. It was probably the amount of people that died. But that's still pretty tragic. Look, he's crying. The San Francisco earthquake of 1906 is important because it is an example of what can happen when we are unprepared and unqualified for dealing with the aftermaths of an earthquake. It is important that we study earthquakes in order to prevent further things like that happening ever again, because you know, they suck pretty bad. Anyways, thank you for watching. Please give me an A. Goodbye.